Hello, my name is Rona Vishali. Today I'm going to be teaching about EKG, electrode placement, anatomy of the heart, and many other things. So I'm going to begin with the anatomy of the heart. The anatomy of the heart, I'm not going to go into that much detail because it's a very complex organ, and this lesson, the anatomy of the heart that I'm going to be teaching, it's very simple. So you have 4 chambers in the heart. The top 2 are the atrium. The bottom ones are the ventricles. A little drawing here may help. I don't know. But the top 2 are the atrium. The top 2 are the atrium, and the bottom ones, the two bottom ones are the ventricles. Now, the valves. On the right side of the heart, you have the tricuspid valve, which is kind of over here in the middle, right between the right atrium and the right ventricle. You have the tricuspid valve. Then between the left atrium, the left ventricle, you have the bicuspid valve, and between those two, and kind of in the center, you have the semilunar valve. Moving on for valves, I'm going to be talking about nodes. So nodes, they handle the flow, the electrical conduction in the heart. So the flow of electricity, which if you didn't know, electricity flows to the heart and makes it beat. So you have the SA node, which is in the right atrium. I'm going to start writing again. So you have the SA node, which is kind of over here in the top part. And then you have the AV node. Also, keep in mind that electricity follows in the order that I'm naming them. So it begins at the SA node, then it goes to the AV node, and then it goes to the bundle of His, and then it goes to the bundle branches and the Purkinje fibers. The Purkinje fibers and the bundle branches are kind of like on the bottom of the ventricles, over here. And that's the way the electricity flows in the heart. Now, what else did I want to talk about? O2 node. O2 node is a poem that I will read, and it talks about okay, so if the SA node isn't working, so if the electricity, I don't know, there's an issue with the SA node, it's not working, then the AV node takes over for the SA node. And if the AV node doesn't work either, then the bundle of His and the bundle branches will take over. So it's kind of like a flow. If this one doesn't work, the other one works, and then if that one doesn't work either, then these work, and it's like that. However, do keep in mind that the bundle of His and the bundle branches are very temporary. I'll read the poem, the poem now. Temporary as in, like, if I'm not sure if I should read the poem first. Actually, I'll just read the poem, then I'll explain. It says, O2 node. Have a heart, have no fear, the SA node is over here. Beating at a constant rate, 60 to 100 is really great. The AV node can make a show if the SA node has gone too slow. 40 to 60 is not too bad. If that's all you've got, you will be glad. Should the whole thing drop its speed, His and bundle branches will take the lead, 20 to 40 beats per minute. That, my friend, is the whole and part of the conduction system of your heart. Now, I want to point out certain parts. Again, what I was talking about before is, it says over here, 60 to 100 is really great. So if the SA node is 60 to 100, it's great. It's fine. It's good. It's great. However, the AV node can make a show if the SA node has gone too slow. So that means if the AV node isn't working, if the SA node isn't working, then the AV node can make a show. So it takes over for it. However, it's 40 to 60, not 60 to 100. 40 to 60, it's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. If that's all you got, you will be glad. So it's not 60 to 100, but 40 to 60, it's not, it's not too bad. And then it says, should the whole thing drop its speed, His and bundle branches will take the lead. 20 to 40 beats per minute. So if the SA node isn't working and the AV node isn't working either, then the bundle of His and bundle branches will take over. And it's only 20 to 40 beats per minute, so it starts dropping the beats per minute. The 20 to 40 beats per minute, it's not sustainable, it's temporary. So it's not like, I don't think it's temporary. The heart can't survive on 20 to 40 beats per minute all the time. Like the patient, it's temporary. It's not sustainable. Anyways, moving on. That's the conduction system of the heart. Now, the conduction system of the heart, the electricity, flow in the heart, it can be read with an EKG. The EKG, you have electrodes which will pick up the electricity and it'll travel through a wire, through a lead, wire lead, whatever. It travels through the wire into the EKG, and then a stylus would pick up the electricity and it would write down an EKG wave, which I will talk about later. Now, electrode placement is kind of important so that you can read it accurately. So you have V1, which would be placed, you have the sternum, and then on the right side, you would place V1. V1 is the only electrode you will place on the right. V1 is the only electrode you will place on the right. And then on the left, you would place V2. V2 is on the fourth intercostal space, and so is V1. So they're the only ones that are placed on the fourth intercostal space, and V1 is the only one placed on the right. So after you put V2, you would place V4. V4 is on the mid-clavicular line on the fifth intercostal space. And in between V2 and V4, then you can place V3. Now, it's important that you know like this order. It will really help you how to do the placement for the electrodes. And anyways, as I was saying, after you put V4, V5 is in between V6 and V4. So V6 is in the mid-axillary line, and B5 is in between it. And as I said before, V1 and V2 are the only ones on the fourth intercostal space. Everything else would be on the fifth intercostal space. Let me check my lesson notes. Oh, EKG waves. Okay, so EKG waves, it's what's read on the EKG, like it's what shows up, and it tells the doctor where specifically the problem is. This is an EKG wave. I don't think you can see it, but I hope that you can somewhat, I don't know, but that's an EKG wave. I'm trying to get it so that I can see. Okay, there. That's an EKG wave. So an EKG wave, it shows up on the EKG, and based on the waves that it makes or doesn't make, you know what's going on with the heart. So it has the P wave, QRST, and then it has T wave. So each of these kind of represents a node of the heart in the electrical conduction system. So for example, if the P wave, okay, actually I want to say which one it represents. So the P wave represents the SA node, and then actually I should show it so it's easier. And then over here, QRST, you have the AV node over here, and then bundle of his is QRST. No, wait, R. This is the bundle of his, I'm sorry. And then this here is the bundle of his. And then over here, you have the bundle branches, and then at the end, the Purkinje fibers. So what I said before, if one of these is missing, then you know that there's an issue with that area of the heart. For example, if this wave, the P wave, was missing, then you would know that the SA node has a problem. So knowing how to read an EKG, it really helps because you know specifically where the problem is. So as I said before, if P wave isn't there, then you know there's a problem with the SA node. I think that's all I want to cover today. It's a very simple lesson. I didn't go that much into detail about anything, but it's a very simple lesson. I hope you guys learned something. I hope it was somewhat interesting. I hope that that it was a nice lesson. I don't know. I just hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you learned something new. I hope it was fun. So that's it. That's the anatomy of the heart. That's O2 node, EKG, the electrical conduction system, EKG waves. That's what I went over today, right? Let me see the lesson plan. Yeah. So we went over the anatomy of the heart, EKG electrode placement, electrical conduction system, O2 node, and EKG waves.